Hello, welcome to another episode of the Here Lies Metal. Too Many Notes, new music review. Once again, I am Maledictus with a V.
And I am Samantha.
And today, we have another band from Japan called Bitcheater with Worship of Satan.
Alright, this is a black heavy metal band from Tokyo, Japan. It's a two-piece featuring Matsuaki Suzuki on guitars and Yasuyuki Suzuki, who you may be familiar with from the likes of Abigail and Barbatos, on vocals, guitars, and drums. They formed in 2020, and this is their first release in any form. They haven't even had a demo or an EP or anything. They just this thing just appeared via Bestial Invasion Records on January 1st. And I just want to take a moment here to complain about finding this record because it was really hard. They do not have a Bandcamp. We're going to put a link below to the Discogs of the guy that runs Bestial Invasions, where you can buy the CD. And also there's a link where you can listen to it on YouTube, and that seems to be the only options for consuming this album. So, but it took me quite a while to locate this by just clicking around on the label website, ending up on that guy's Facebook page. We found it for you. I found it.
It's very odd that it's only on Discogs is generally for used, like overpriced albums. It's weird that in new albums. Discogs, but I don't know.
Yes, this is it's not a new album. Okay.
They could have easily put it on Bandcamp. But anyway, so as we do, it's now for the Here Lies Metal 5-point bi-directional classification scale, including categories genre loyalty, listenability, production style, musical complexity, and just plain fun. Please note that neither end of these scales mean good or bad. Let's get on with the review.
Okay, our first scale, true to nonconformists, we're giving this a middle-of-the-road scale, which indicates kind of a blending of multiple traditional genres. Yasuyuki himself calls this necro black metal, and judging by the sound of this album, I think that means a slowed down and severely dumbed down zombie take of first wave black metal. The vocal is a bit more of a maybe modern black metal shriek and moan, but overall the sound has that raw primitive edge of first wave. But there's definitely some other styles going on. What did you hear, Maledictus?
Well, this goes from the songs on this album go from.
Why are you doing nerd voice?
Am I doing a nerd voice? I talk like that. This goes from My War Side B to Sabbath trying to sound like the Beatles in a course of a single song, all within the same song. Even look for some Celtic Frost influence here. Bitcheater does it all. However, Worship of Satan gives you all the metal you grew up with in its own chaotic way. So definitely you're going to like it.
Most interesting, we do have a very distinct Beatles influence, most obvious on track 8, Return to the War. It is the sweet ballad of the album.
Yeah, you'll know the part when you hear it.
But despite what we were talking about before with the first wave of black metal, most of this album is extremely slow and loose, with only a few mid-pace to faster numbers. And it has this mostly doom feel. It mostly sounds like doom. Would you say so?
Yeah, being as it's generally a very low BPM.
Like you said, My War Side B, very descriptive.
Which is doom. I don't care what anyone says.
And when it does pick up to speed metal / black thrash, it sounds like, like Abigail. And I would say check out track 6, Black Throne, for an example of this. But for the most part, this album is mostly doom.
It's very Sabbathy doom,
Mostly doom. But a blending, yes. An interesting blending of all of these necro styles.
It sounds like it sounds like Sabbath trying to sound like the Beatles, Black Flag trying to sound like Sabbath. That's what it sounds like.
Okay, our terror scale. Again, another middle of the road score here, sometimes swinging more towards terror and more towards distorted pop. There's a lot of catchy and or at least non-offensive riffing going on, and even some catchy vocal hooks. However, there's a lot of other things to assault your senses on this album. Many times while listening to this, I asked myself, what is time even? What is that? Because any traditional sensibility of staying on beat or playing together is often dispensed with. We have guitar solos playing out of key and out of tempo of the riff underneath. And these things, I would say, in a way different than how we usually talk about Sonic Terror, make this kind of a terrifying album.
That terrifies people. It terrifies very obsessive, impulsive people. It's really the screeching vocals and the sloppiness of some of the songs that prevent this particular record from being total distorted pop. Otherwise, the riffage is rather gentle, groove-ridden, and nostalgic of your favorite bands, which usually makes for a pro-distorted pop record in most cases. But where does that leave us?
I mean, yes, there is some very solid doom riffing on this thing, but some of the doom riffing is just really dumb and slow at times, which is what I thought took away from the poppiness of it. I would say in particular track 5, Dystopia of the Moon, can really try your ear by just being a monumentally dumb song that just refuses to end.
That just leaves us in the middle, I guess.
So it's kind of like, it's approachable but also unapproachable album. All right. Production style, Fisher-Price to high production. This is a 1 down at the bottom, Fisher-Price. This is indeed Necro, a raw and primitive production style.
Intentionally or not, Bitcheater did not bother messing with any EQs, enhancers, overdubs, or mastering in the recording and production of Worship of Satan. And that's just fine. That doesn't make for a good album. It never has. Some of the greatest records in that were reviewed in the Too Many Notes review library meet similar criteria. So that this doesn't take points away from it being a good album. It just kind of makes it more special. So,
all right. If you couldn't guess, now that we got to our note scale, this is a 1 for enough notes. There are very few notes on this album, despite there being a few faster songs that do stay on tempo and even have competent guitar solos. I would say notably track 1, Bitcheater, title track of the artist. This is mostly simple, stripped-down music that can't even keep up with its own molasses pace. Hard to single out a single performance. Guitar solos are often straight up bad in kind of a comical way. What did you think?
Now, let's talk about Bitcheater's looseness here. Instrumental precision and theoretical complexity does not exist in the Worship of Satan. However, there is a certain natural beauty of guitar and bass tracks awkwardly out of sync with the drums, not to mention the off-key solos and bass lines playing out of key while they're out of sync with the drum track. As you think of it, just this giant train just crashing. That's what this is.
I think it's more like a rickshaw that's coming.
A rickshaw?
Almost coming apart.
Okay, that's a little more. That's less violent. It's just a rickshaw.
It's not violent. I don't think it's violent.
I was thinking of a giant train just exploding.
I'm thinking of something like careening wildly, not falling over, but like it's going to.
They've lost control of it.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted a train to explode, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all destruction. It's all part of the plan, I think. And it is art. Okay. As for musical complexity, as mentioned before, Bitcheater is channeling Iommi, Greg Ginn, G Warrior, and perhaps G Warrior. G Warrior. That's what we call him here. That's what we call him here at the Here Lies Metal podcast. And perhaps it's Iommi trying to sound like George Harrison at
Very
times.
Specific.
Yeah, that's where he comes from. And these are all samples, but of some of metal's most respectable guitarists, and it's all here in The Worship of Satan.
All right, our final scale, the fun scale, we're giving this a 1 for fun. First off, this album is called Worship of Satan, but these guys are clearly not, your serious Satan worshippers. They definitely are having a good time worshiping Satan. They're having fun. We don't know if they're seriously worshiping Satan, or if they are, they're definitely doing it in a hedonistic way. And also, as Maledictus was talking about before, when, you might have thought, like, with all the things I've been saying, like, oh, this was, like, out of time and out of key, and it was dumb, it was a dumb riff, as if these are not insults. And I don't think that these make this album bad. These guys have been making music since the 90s. I don't think they are incapable or bad at all. And I have a very distinct sense that the bad taste on display here is a choice. And it's my very strong opinion that the artful execution of bad taste is its own very specific skill and is very easy to fuck up, but I think it's done very well here. And so I think this also amplifies the fun on the album, just like, say, how a John Waters movie will feature very dark and disturbing things for you to see. It's still a very fun and irreverent movie. Bitcheater is also a very fun experience, despite plotting, menacing doom for the most part.
Yes, there's no indication of any focused musical activity on the worship of Satan to be found. This chaotic sonic projectile of sloppy, out of sync, but catchy riffs wants you to have as much fun listening to it as Bitcheater had making it. And that's the truth.
All right, one for fun. The cover art is credit to Samluk Sapienthong, who is, I believe, a Thai artist.
Let's look at it. Dun, dun, dun. What's going on here?
Bring it up big.
Okay. Censored for your safety.
Are we censoring this?
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we'll research if we have to.
When I was listening to it on YouTube, it was censored on YouTube. They censored the artwork.
They did.
There, so.
But if you cannot see, this goat woman has a pair of very large breasts over those abs.
They're probably fake.
Who's to say?
I'm saying.
She's a demon lady.
She's strong, though.
She can do whatever. Anyway, she's flanked by what look like some skeleton angels.
They kind of look like the same skeletons from the Death album.
Yeah, they do.
They look the same skeletons.
The Scream Bloody Gore skeletons.
Bloody Gore. They visited her. They're like, hello.
I mean, those are I guess generic skeletons.
Yeah, but they have the same.
They've got
face.
that same smile.
Yeah, the same face.
Smile.
And don't tell me all skeletons have that smile. It's bullshit.
Well, because it's a skeleton
I'm
expert.
a skeleton. I'm a skeletologist.
We've got a snake. We've got a snake here. Maybe more than one.
There is a snake.
And I think this. Do you think this goat lady is the Bitcheater?
They're all coming to her party. They're all like, hello.
Like, does she eat bitches, or is she the bitch that eats?
Well, the bitch should be the dogs. They could be looking at that. She eats dogs, female dogs.
I mean, we don't know what bitch refers to.
But it all looks like they're enjoying her company. They're like, hello, you're here. And she's like,
they are having a good time.
The deaf skeletons are like, hello. That's how skeletons talk. They go, hello.
All right. Any more comments on the art?
No, this is cool art.
Cool.
This is drawn by pencil.
Cool.
Looks like this is cool art.
It's real cool.
It's very cool.
All right. In conclusion, Bitcheater, Worship of Satan. Check it out. If you, like me, found this on the Metal Archives. I was like, ooh, necro. This guy calls it necro black metal, and it's the guy from Abigail and Barbatos. I gotta check this out. And if you were like me, you should, and that piqued something in you, you should check this out as well.
They check those albums. Check out the Barbatos album and Barbados. I just call them Barbados.
If you like Barbatos.
Not to be confused with Barbados.
However you say, I would say definitely Barbatos. Check this out, because they're also very, if you like that kind of loose, who knows what's going on here in music. But yeah, definitely a fun time. It's a little bit long because it's so slow, but
yeah. All right, folks. We'll see you next time.
Hope they have a band camp at some point.
Yeah, that would be useful of them. But maybe they don't want you to find it. Who knows? But we're helping you find it, so we're helping you listen to it. All right. See you next week. Goodbye.